Welcome to the Gilded Pod, where today we're talking about Gilded Age, Season 3, Episode 7, Excommunicated. I am one of your hosts, Jason Reed. With me, Marissa Garza. Marissa, you rich?
I'm rich in plot developments and stuff today. Jason, you rich?
I'm rich. I'm rich in blood by the end of this episode. Let's talk. This episode, y'all, is going to be a lot. So we're gonna kind of run through our housekeeping. If you want to help this podcast in some free and easy ways, you can do that by reviewing, rating, and subscribing to this podcast, wherever it is you can do those things. If you would like to email us, you can email us at thegoodpodfeedback@gmail.com to chop it up about this show, any show you want to talk about. We are here for you to chop it up with. You can also help us out monetarily if you would like to, no pressure. You can always go to buymeacoffee.com/goodpod and contribute to this podcast with your dollars. As always, if you do any of those things for us, we really, really appreciate it. We really, really thank you, especially for those of you that recently left us a review. We've got 3 new reviews. We're going to kind of run through the authors, say thank you so much. We've got JJ4852 entitled Bravo, Bravo. Thank you so much, JJ. MPF 1976 with great podcast. Thank you so much, MPF. And Traumatic Videos Auto is the author title. It says Jason is here and goes on to talk about my amazing voice. So thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. Traumatic Videos Auto. I've through the Apple stuff, I have heard that people don't know how they're getting these author titles. So like, I don't know how this is my name that comes in Apple Podcasts. I don't know. I don't know either. I don't know how to control that. But as always, thank you so much to everyone that has supported this podcast, either by reviewing, rating, subscribing, buying us a coffee. We love you guys that go out of your way to do that for us. So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Marissa, let's get started on this very, very eventful episode, especially by the end.
Oh my goodness. So much happening. The first thing we see in this episode is that Ward McAllister's book, Society as I See It, or as I Found It, Society as I Found It, is out. This was a real book. This is the thing. I was like, ooh, maybe I should go to the library and see if I can read it and see if it makes sense. Although, however, reviews are mixed on his writing style in real life, so I don't know how much of a page turner it would be.
By the way, like failure on the Gilded Age's part, right? As a show, not to get some official merch out there, not to get some official books out there in the hands of reviewers like us. Maybe they should have sent us a promo copy of the book. Maybe have an audio book narrated by Nathan Lane. You know, especially since you told me this is an actual book. Nathan Lane could have narrated this book, and it would have been so fun to have a fun little companion piece with it. But no, Gilded Age dropped the ball, of course.
I would blame probably HBO on that, because I'm sure Julian Fellows has like 800 different resources that he would like to send out, and but at the same time, everyone is like all about this book and not happy about this book. We see all of our different characters react to it. What was your takeaway, Jason?
Well, I mean, listen, the little people, they love it. They're like, oh, this is the tabloid of the time. They're like, oh, we get to read about these rich people in society, about all their issues, all their marital problems, all their scandals. Like, it's great for them. But of course, for the people that this book is about, they're like, hell no, what? And Ward McAllister is just bebopping his way through the park. He's like, oh, yeah, you got my book? You got my book? And then he's like, wait, y'all are mad? Y'all are mad? Why are you so mad?
I have to say, like, this whole thing, I was like really surprised at Ward's whole, like, Ward, my BFF, whole thing, because he knows what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing. He knows how people, he can't be surprised that these people are upset, right? And throughout this entire thing, then he like claims he had the right to do this because he created the society. So I was like, Ward, where did you come from? And also, why didn't we, as a viewer, why didn't I know that was his viewpoint before this book? Like, that kind of sideswiped me, because there was always a conversation of like, Ward McAllister was Mrs. Astor's helper, friend, man, and not like the other way around. I don't know. I found it surprising.
Yeah, I think it was a real like weird. I think I had always seen Ward McAllister as like a mover and a shaker in the society, but like you said, to hear that he has created the society is like, oh, interesting
Yeah.
take on that, I guess. We'll get
Yeah.
into more of that when he does have his confrontation with Lena
Mrs.
Astor.
Astor.
But for now, he's just like, it's like, what's the problem? Like, why y'all mad?
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
weird.
The ladies meet up at Mrs. Forte's house has become quite the social pad this entire episode. Everyone's going there. Everyone's
It's the
having a
hot spot.
meeting.
It's the hot spot.
Yeah.
And when you can get, it's major when you can get Agnes in the same room with Bertha, in the same room with Lena Astor. Like, something big is brewing. When all these people are like, you know what, we all gotta talk about this, because I know we all don't like each other, but like we gotta. It's about us. We got to figure this thing out.
Yeah, but they like talk about it, but don't talk about it because they're like, well, there's someone who's rumored to be like me in this book. It's not me. It's not me. Although, like, and then when Mrs. Fish he says that my husband has cheap taste in wine, and then Ada very earnestly is like, how horrid.
No, that was
so
Agnes.
taken-
Agnes,
Oh,
because like she's like, what is Miss Fish? She's like, it's horrid and not true. And Agnes goes, it certainly is horrid. Like, just say like, no, it's actually true that your husband has cheap taste in wine. That's real. That's real. We know that. We know that about your Mr. Fish. We know that.
yeah. So Mrs. Astor's there, and she's the queen of all of the things. So they're all looking to her in terms of what to do next. And she's like, well, we just have to freeze him out. We're not going to invite him to anything, including my ball at the end of the year. That's it. We're not going to do it anymore. We are the real victims here already, claiming victimhood. And then at the end of this, Mrs. Fish is like, oh, Lena, I wouldn't want to be you with this and what's going on with your daughter. She's like, I know there's drama, but let me just like stir it a little bit more before we leave.
Like, it all sucks for us, but it sucks major for you. Like, you're the biggest victim.
And I also loved that this entire conversation, Bannister is like waiting by the tea to serve tea, and he's like laughing at, like openly laughing at some things that he's overhearing, which is something we don't see him do very often.
Yeah.
And before Mrs. Astor leaves, she does thank Ada for allowing them to meet and receiving them in her home. And Ada is like, oh my God, I think I've been touched by Jesus. Like, I don't know, but like she's very taken aback. Agnes, on the other hand, is like, society's falling apart. Like, I can't believe you're all about this. But she deserves to be like happy. She's part of the in crowd now.
Yeah, I mean, it's another step for Ada to be like, oh, am I like good at the society thing? Like, everyone wants to come over to my house, and people are thanking me for letting me come over there. Like, is she starting to get with the program of like, actually, this high society thing is pretty nice. Like, I could deal with this. I could get down with this.
Yeah, because Mrs. Astor is like the grantor of popularity.
Yeah.
So she's got some street cred now. Ada does. Mrs. Armstrong. Okay, first of all, Mrs. Armstrong bought the book for Agnes, brings her the book, and then we see her downstairs reading the book. She so bought 2 copies of this book. She had that money from JJ, and she was like, listen,
I need all the tea. It seemed like she brings the book to Agnes. She's like, girl, wait till you read this. Like, you've been reading my books, Miss Armstrong, before you give them to me. But no, I think, like you said, Miss Armstrong bought herself a book. She was like, I need the tea myself, because she warns Agnes, like, you're not gonna like what you're reading here, because I took a little sneak peek and it ain't great.
Yeah, and apparently there is information in the book about Agnes's financial blow, and then some stuff about Oscar that she doesn't understand.
Ooh, yeah, this is Armstrong. She's like, yeah, what is this stuff about Oscar? Like, what are they saying on him? Like, don't worry about it, Miss Armstrong. Don't worry about it. So,
but, like, they know, like, it has to be like the tale as true as time. Like, I am not a member of the LGBTQ community. I don't know. Things change all the time, but
okay,
like everybody knows, it's like part of human nature. It's not something that people are surprised by. Like, the people downstairs know about Oscar.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a badly kept secret, right?
Yeah, yeah, but it's not like, oh my God, I can't believe that someone's like. It's just like.
But I mean, it kind of shows how out of touch Miss Armstrong is.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
because everyone else is like, you didn't know that about Oscar? Okay, sure. He's just the most eligible bachelor out there on 61st Street. I guess that's what you're thinking. But yeah, I guess so. But I think in that time, it's so taboo that you can't even bring your mind around to the fact
Yeah,
that could happen.
I
Because
completely understand that. I just think that it's like, why are we doing this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why do we do this to people? It just every
yeah,
time, like every time
obviously.
it's just like, oh, why
Yeah,
are we doing this to people?
and I think as people so helpfully pointed out to us last week in our YouTube comments, like when we were talking about, hey, maybe this means Oscar's gonna come out. Like people were like, no, like
But
he's
like
not, he can't,
out,
because it's literally illegal for him
yes,
to come out in this society. So it's like
but like
is that
out.
much of a crazy thing to think that Miss Armstrong won't even go there?
Oh no, agreed. But I think there is like a version of out. Like there is like an 1890s version of out, whatever that is. That's what John Adams was. He was out as much as he could be. He's not out loud and proud. He's
No,
not
I mean
like
there are
holding
rumors
hands with people on the street.
yeah, there are rumors and innuendo. You know, people take certain liberties with what they think is going on. It's the same thing that happens today, right? People that aren't comfortable coming out, people
Yeah.
still have these thoughts of them. It doesn't mean
Yeah.
it's true or not true. It's just got a sneaking suspicion based on things I've seen, heard,
Yeah.
whatever. So yeah, I don't blame Miss Armstrong for being that out of touch, because it feels like in that time it was such a taboo
Well,
thing.
I think what it does is does a really good job of showing how society puts these things on people. It's not,
Yeah,
it's like this is all our fault. Like this is
yeah,
something that man did to man or human did to
right,
human. It's not something that, it's not something that we had before. We had to
right.
invent this and we had to do this. And I think this is a really good example of showing how things like sexuality labels and race and gender are social constructs, because everyone in the house, except for, which we'll talk about later, but like most people in the house are like, obviously,
Yeah,
like,
like
duh.
Miss Armstrong's like, they said something about Oscar. I don't understand, and everybody fucking looks at each other like, girl, like Bridget and Mrs. Bauer are like, she don't know, but we know.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
definitely
Like,
understand.
and I also liked in here, Bannister's like, I can't believe you're reading this. And then Bridget's like, she can read whatever she wants. It's in the Constitution. And he says, well, in this house, we have our own amendments.
Bannister, please. I think Bannister's like, how dare you read that smut? And he's like a
Yeah.
secret copy under his bed. Then when he goes away, he's like, check this out. Like he's got his own secret copy. Bannister can't be the only one that's not hip to the
Well,
juice.
he's all like, he's all in the tea when he's talking to church, right? Like he's all
Mhm.
like, oh, what's going on here? What's going on there? So Mrs. Astor's holding an event, and Ward McAllister again, I don't know how, I don't know why, I don't know what side of the bed he woke up on, but he decided, I'm just going to go to this event. I'm just going to walk in. It's not going to be a problem. Everyone's going to be fine. It was not fine. It was not fine. He is
He's
like
so shocked.
booted right away.
He's so shocked. He's like, wait, what? I can't come in? Like, this is Miss Astor's thing, right? Like, and me and Miss Astor are cool. Like, no, not anymore. You're not cool no more. Because you literally talk shit about her in a book. Like, Ward is like so out of touch that he didn't even write this under a pseudonym. Like
No.
an assumed name. Like
Yeah.
he put his name on this loud and proud and thought it was gonna be okay.
Yeah, I still like, I have a lot of things to say about men in this episode, and specifically white men. But is this like a thing that white men do? Like, is this showing like white men privilege of like, I could get away with this? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It reminds me of like, I could get away with something on Fifth Avenue that somebody said one time.
Yes. Instead of that in
But
61st Streets, I guess.
yeah,
But yeah, it's that kind of unearned confidence, unearned like
and like,
you think you have that cachet that you can get away with literally anything
yeah, and lack of
until
consideration.
until you
Yeah.
can't, right? Like there's limits to even Ward McAllister's juice that he's going to learn here in this episode.
Yes. Mrs. Astor is still having a conversation with her daughter about, you're going to have to convince your husband to not bring the charges of adultery against you. And she's like, Ma, like, this isn't going to work. Like, I don't know what you think is going to happen here, but this is a wrecking ball coming for your society structure in 3, 2, 1. But Mrs. Astor's still like, it must be done. You have to do it. And this
Yeah.
comes into play based on like some of the decisions that Mrs. Astor is going to have to make in this episode. Speaking of which, Bertha goes to visit Mrs. Astor, and she's like, I think I just have to cancel the ball because like things are too rough. We got the McAllister thing. And oh, maybe also conveniently, then I don't have to choose about whether my daughter is coming to this ball or not, but I just can't have this ball. And Bertha, of course, is like, no, like that's not the play here. This is not what you do. You have to be strong. You have to show up. You have to show them that like it doesn't matter. But Mrs. Astor's not hearing it too much.
Yeah, it's interesting to see Mrs. Astor so defeated in this moment because we remember from last season where she and Bertha duked it out over the opera war. She was fighting as dirty you can be, but now it's like society is like stepping up against her and her beliefs of like, well, I basically have someone that like I have someone that has leprosy, right? I
Yeah.
can't bring them around other people. They might catch it. You might catch the divorce bug, right? I can't bring her around here, so I can't be like. Is she's almost like exiling herself from society at that point? It's just being like, my daughter's got a scarlet letter. I can't do nothing. I can't throw no more parties. It's over.
But she like has because she has the privilege, she can make that decision for her. Like she's saying, I'm like you said, excluding myself, so no one else can exclude me before all of this
Right.
happens.
And because she has that she's had that privilege all her life basically.
Yeah.
And because of Bertha, who came from nothing, who had to fight for her status, had to fight for where she is now, it's like, no, girl, like you gotta fight for what you want. Like Mrs. Astor's not used to that. Mrs. Astor's
Right.
like, I just like I can't be in a society no more. I guess Bertha's like, nah, F that. Like
Like
be your own person, stand firm for what you want and what your people, because that's what Bertha's used to doing.
yeah, and it has, worked for her
Mhm.
pretty much. And she's trying to show old money that new money has some tricks up their sleeve too.
Yeah.
So as Mrs. Russell leaves Mrs. Astor's house, she gets into a carriage, and on the other side of the carriage is Ward McAllister. And he's like, Bertha, Bertha. She does not even give him the time of day.
She's like,
She
I don't hear that. I heard nobody call my name. Keep going, driver. Keep going.
keeps going. And Ward is walking up to have a conversation with Mrs. Astor. And first, he has to get through Hefty. First of all, I forgot about Hefty. I forgot that his name is Hefty. I forgot how giant of a man he is. I forgot.
Fantastic name for a doorman
So
slash
great.
bouncer slash whatever. Hefty's a great name.
So great. And Hefty's like, she is not going to see you like now or ever. And he's like, listen, I'm pushing my way in here. We have stuff to talk about.
Well, first Hefty pulls what Miss Astor pulled on Bertha in season one, like
Yeah.
she ain't home. Like I just saw someone leave her house, so she obviously home. He's like, she's not home,
Yep.
bro. Go away. He's like, nah, I'm in there, and like literally pushes his way into Miss Astor's house. Like, oh, okay. Ward thinks he's big business here.
This conversation though, Jason. Oh my gosh. I could not. He's again, okay. So I've already stated my bias against white men. He walks into this room and it's like, don't you think I deserve better than you kicking me out of your event? I created the society. I'm M society. Your 500 are or your 400 in your ballroom are my 400. When we met, you were a sad rich lady whose husband preferred showgirls on his yacht over spending time with you. Oh,
Again, like, what do you think you're accomplishing here, Ward?
right?
Like, do you think this is going to get people like, you know what? You're right. You helped me out so much. I'm going to get you back in society. Or do you think she's going to take that as the insult it is and take you to get lost? I'm always like, I took you rich old white ladies. I gave you some class and sophistication from Europe. I combined you rich American people with European style and grace, and I made all of you. Okay, I am society. I'm not part of society. I am society. Basically, it's like I am society God. Like I am the one, the only. And it's like, wow, you really overestimate your power and your influence here because
Yeah.
the inmates have started to run the asylum, I guess, is Ward's take on this. He's like, I got y'all here and now you're kicking me out. I'm the progenitor of this, and you're just kicking me out like I'm nothing.
And on what capital does he have to make this move? You know what I mean? It's not like he did so much good for these people, like overtly. He benefited from everything that he did. And so it's not like he, I don't know, built someone a house or like if he had gotten Lena's daughter out of this predicament with divorce, then he would have something to be like, okay,
Yeah, I
but I
mean,
did this.
he is kind of a fixer, right? Because Bertha really used him to great effect last season as kind of like he's kind of like a Ray Donovan type, right? Like
Yeah.
he fixes problems. If you need problems fixed, Ward's the guy to go to. And I guess from what Ward is telling us in this episode, he is the one that has created this social network, if you will, right? He is the
Yeah.
person that's connected everyone together. He is the person that has weaved the web here of society. So in his mind, you can't kick God out of heaven. Is basically what he's trying to like say.
Yeah.
So, but I think he thinks a little bit too much of himself because Mrs. Asher's like, nah, bro, you're out, you're done because this isn't your thing anymore. We now have the know how to run the society. So we now can kick you out.
You are out of a job, my good friend.
Yeah.
But Word has not given up yet because he's like, let's go visit Bertha. If I'm not gonna talk, if it's not gonna work with Mrs. Astor, I'm gonna go talk to Bertha. And she's like, what the hell were you thinking? Like, what is this about? He's like, I wanted to show that the golden people were normal. And she's like, and you thought it would go well? You thought that's what they wanted?
Yeah. It's so weird because it's like and you thought it would just be okay to show the little people that we are normal people. That's not good. We don't want that. Like we want the little people to think we are high above them and we have no issues or problems. That's the allure we want to create. And you just shattered that with your little book.
Yeah, because I mean, that's something money can't buy. That's all, that's something that gives them power. It's something that allows them to have the society that they have. Like, if Word's book tells all about how to make a society, they can organize, they can create societies, they can do things. We don't want that.
Yeah, you don't want to give them the playbook. I do kind of wish. I think this would have had more impact if we knew more little people, right? Like,
Agreed.
I really wish we would have had more perspective from the little person of how they see the Russells, the Astors, the Van Ryns. I wish we would have gotten more of that perspective because I don't really feel that perspective because all we see is basically the upper crust and their help, basically, which the help never really says bad words about them too much. So I wish you could have seen more of that perspective.
Like someone who doesn't live in one of the houses, someone
Right.
that, yeah. And maybe we'll get to know some of those people through JJ. Maybe he'll make some friends that
Maybe.
aren't, but I don't know. He's got the dough now.
Yeah.
In this conversation, we learned that Mrs. Astor has fully given up on this ball. Like, she at first was like, I don't know, I don't want to hold it. And now she's like, I'm out. It's yours, Bertha, if you want it. And Ward McAllister is like, you should do it. This is so great. And basically, like, take me with you. Like,
Well,
let's do this.
and I love this little wrinkle in the story, right? Because as mad as Bertha is at Ward, I think she still remembers how Ward helped her out. Because
Yeah.
when she's like, yeah, Miss Astor asked me to take over the ball, no big deal. She and Ward kind of share this like little smile, this little laugh, like, girl,
You made it.
remember when you were nothing and I got you somewhere? She's like, yeah, boy, I remember that, but I still can't help you though. Like, thank you, but like, I still you can't be at this ball. Like, I love you for what you did for me, but you effed up, and I can't dig you out of this hole. And when she tells him, she's like, yeah, actually, I think it's a good time for me to really change some stuff up. And I'm gonna start inviting divorced women. Ward's like, you mean to tell me that
Mm-hmm.
divorced women are over me in society now? That's how far I've fallen. And Bertha's like, hey, player, you did it to yourself. You played yourself. This is the biggest play yourself I think I've ever seen out of anyone. Is Ward McAllister thinking he could write this book and it be just people act like it's nothing. You played
Well,
yourself, Ward. You played yourself.
and at the end of this, she tells him, like, I don't have the power to do this. And there's nothing more perilous than to overestimate your own power, Ward.
Ward. Ward, which is exactly what you did. I'm not going to be you. Like, I'm not going to make the same mistake you did.
Yeah. So I wanted to open with like Bertha's perspective because she is moving places. She is going places, and her ambition is going to be called into question by her husband in the future. And so I just wanted us to have like a good idea of where she is and what she's doing, because we're going to switch over to talk about George at the beginning of this episode and at the end of this episode. George is still super mad at Bertha, like super mad, cannot believe that, you know, he has to deal with her pretty much, basically. She comes in to tell him about the book and he's like, I could care less, like I have no time for this, I can't believe you're still talking.
Yeah, I mean, the last time we saw George and Bertha together, he was basically telling her like, "Yeah, go fix your stuff with Gladys, but you'll be lucky if I'm here when you get back." And he followed through with his threat. He is staying at the
At the
club,
club.
whatever club this is, the gentleman's club. I don't know what, what social club, I guess, that has rooms to rent. I don't know, because he is not staying in the house. He is out at the country club or whatever, staying there, and he only comes here, I guess, to conduct business. So, like you said, she comes in like, "Oh, George, you're back. Hello." He's like, "Whatever. Like, I just came here for work, and I gotta go. So, I don't got time for none of your nonsense." Because, like we've been saying, George's kind of mood and his kind of like tolerance for Bertha's stuff is very tied to his business and how successful that is. And right now, his business is floundering. So that's kind of how his demeanor is toward Bertha.
And this, I felt so bad for Bertha with this because if there's anything that I have been like told by men, is like, can't you see what I'm going through? Like, don't you have like, don't you, can't you see? And I'm like, no, because you haven't told me. Like, you need to tell me. Like, would you like to tell me what's going on? And that's what's happening to Bertha in the situation. He's like, we are on the precipice of financial ruin. And she's like, we are?
Yeah, it's like, why have I heard about
what?
this before?
Would you like to tell me about this? And him just thinking that she knows this. And I think this is where he has this resentment of the fact of like, maybe my wife would know if she was home all the time. Maybe my wife would know if she wasn't so ambitious. Maybe all of this stuff would, because she would have nothing else to do but to pay attention to me. But at the same time, that's not what George fell in love with Bertha for. You know what I mean? Like, it's so heartbreaking for Bertha, in my opinion. I know there are a lot of Bertha haters out there. I am not one. I feel very much for this woman, especially in this moment.
Yeah, because I mean, listen, George and Bertha are the Bonnie and Clyde, the Beyonce and Jay Z,
Yeah.
whatever era you want to place this in. But I think Bertha has had this kind of mindset of like, me and George doing this together, and now she's finding that George is not. They aren't in it as together as they want it to be, because so far it's been all sunshine and rainbows. But when the going gets tough, George is very focused on himself and his mindset. He's not really including Bertha like Bertha thinks she should be included.
Yeah. And just the last episode, he's like, I'll let my business burn.
Mm-hmm.
He was like not even thinking about how it would affect his family or Bertha or any of this. He's just like, I'll let it go. I also love George Russell, but also I wanted to sort of punch him in the face at that moment. Like, I just was like, you didn't tell her. Like, just tell her. Anyway, this is very serious. It's serious enough that he writes a telegram to Hector over in the UK and says, hey, I'm either going to be late on my payment this month or we won't have a payment at all. So this he tells to his sister, and she's like, well, maybe you'll have to send her back. And he says, what if I don't want to send her back? And she's like, oh.
Don't tell me this has turned into a love match. Oh no. Oh my. Bertha came in here and did the damn thing because listen, I don't know what you taught Gladys. I don't know. Gladys, I don't know if Gladys doing a little extra something when they retire to their chambers at night, but Gladys has done something to really get Hector to back her big time.
Yes. Larry has returned with news. We will talk about the Larian of it all in a minute, but I want to talk a little bit about his news. He did so good. He did so great. He came back. They own the land. They have profit in whatever's mined out of the land. He was able to strike a deal with the miners. Bada bing, bada boom. And George is like, I never thought to look at the reports. I never thought to question them. I can't believe Clay was wrong. But it's like tens of millions of dollars worth of copper out there. So like Larry really, and this is also going to be something I think that Larry can use against his dad in the future. Like he's definitely in the power position now.
I was a little bit surprised when George's like, "Hey, we gonna be rich," and Larry wasn't like, "We, we? Oh, you mean me? Because I bought all the land. I bought the copper out of the mine because you didn't want it. Remember, you said go ahead, go for it. So I bought it all myself. So I was a little surprised. Larry was like, slow your roll, buddy. Like, I don't know what this we stuff is, but you know, Larry's a good son, so he's just like, yeah, we got money, we got it, we're good.
And in no more than 2 seconds later, George is like, this is great. We can leverage the future earnings off of the copper into the railroad deal. Basically, we're fine. We're free. Like, this is it.
After all this consternation of like all these business deals falling through, Larry just comes back and is like, hey, got it fixed. We're good. It's like, oh, done. We're good.
He was not the Olivia Pope of his time, but also kind of like the Olivia Pope of his time. Just like fixed it. He fixed it. And at this time, Bertha, again, coming in the middle of the conversation, not getting the whole story here. It's like, oh, this is so great. We should go celebrate. And Larry's like, I don't want to celebrate. And they're like, why? And he tells them that Miss Brook called off the wedding. And at this point, like, they don't know why. But Bertha's like, well, if she did that, it like shows so much more about her than it does about you. And he's like, no. It shows so much about you, Mom, because you use us as pawns in your plans to dominate the world. Again, some of these like cuts and jabs this episode were so deep.
Yeah, Lawrence just lashing out at his mother. I'm like, Lawrence, how dare you? And you know, honestly, yes, Bertha is not to blame this time, but you know, it's a little bit of a comeuppance, right? It's a little bit of it's coming back to bite you in the butt because Bertha has been so devious in her dealings and so far into her children's lives that you can't really blame them for being like, what'd you do? Because I know you like to do stuff. What did you do? Because it can't be anything I did. Larry's like, I've been a sweet angel boy. It can't be anything I did. So it has to be you, mother. And she's like, I didn't do anything. I haven't talked to the girl. I haven't done nothing. He's like, sure, Mom, sure. I'm like, well, Larry, you're going to see.
Yeah, like the last thing I think she said to her was about talking to Gladys before the wedding. Like, and that was before they were engaged. Like, she didn't even know they were engaged at the beginning. So Bertha's really on the out, pretty much, in her own family. And it was
because George and Larry like double team her.
Yeah.
Like, and George's like, yeah, he's right. You love to mess with our lives. You love to do this and that. And it's like, really, George? You too? Like, you all team up against me with our son? Like, damn. Yeah, so Bertha's really feeling like isolated in this whole thing.
And on top of that, Larry's like, I can't spend another minute in this house. I'm going to the club. Freaking club. And so Bertha is like all alone. And, you know, she is eating by herself. She probably won't eat that night in her room. And George tells her, like, you're not at this moment, but George tells her that her ambition is out of control. And you should be surrounded by your family right now, but you're not. And then he says, again, a very like man answer. Sorry, Jason. I'm sorry. You should really have like more. When was the last time you asked any of us what we wanted? When was the last time you asked them what they wanted? Come on.
But Marissa, though, like, yeah, I get it. Men suck.
No, not all.
I'm not arguing. I suck. I do. But Bertha, you have to remember, Bertha did just sell out her daughter.
I know she did.
She pimped out her daughter to the Duke of whatever. So this is a little deserved. This is a little bit like George is still probably hurting from that. George is still like, I don't have my daughter here with me because you decided that you wanted to pimp her out to the Duke of whatever. So I think he's still a little hurt by that. And again, he's still got this business stuff going on. So he don't got no patience or tolerance for nothing right now. So it's wrong to falsely accuse her of this, but she kind of had it coming.
No. I think it's the right question. I just think it's not equally like he does the same thing Like
Mhm.
he didn't say anything to her about he kept the business thing all to himself, didn't say anything. Like they are so similar. They act in the same way that he could the same question could be asked to him. That's
Yeah,
like where my frustration is like
that's right.
you're
Because
making her feel bad about something that you also do.
yeah, because George only lets her in to the business stuff when it fits him, right? Like
Right.
he was trying to get her to woo Mr. Merrick, and that was the only time he really let her in to the
Right.
business stuff because he thought she could do something for him. And so Bertha's kind of the same way. And George is like, wow, dare you? And Bertha should be like, how dare you, bro? Because we're about to be in the poorhouse and I knew nothing of it till today.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. So now that he's got all these pieces in play, he goes and he meets with Mr. Sage and Clay.
This was so good.
Sage is sitting on his high horse at the start of this meeting, and he's just like, "This is what's going to happen. I'm going to own the Illinois Central line, and Clay's going to be president." Like George is like, "Oh, is that what you think? Because we got all the land." And Clay's like, "It doesn't matter. You don't have the rest of the railroad." It's like, oh, about that. So my son went to Morenci and bought all the land and all of the copper that's in all of the mines. So we have money. And also because of that, the Merricks are back in. JP is back in. I got the railroad. So I don't know what to tell you. I'm kind of, you know, I'm here and you're not.
Bruh, I'm winning that Monopoly right now. I got 3 out of the 4 railroads. Okay, so I'm good. I'm Gucci. I got a majority of railroads in my hand in a little Monopoly thing. Okay, so I'm good. I'm Gucci. And I like how he like throws it on Clay. He's like, "Listen,
Oh,
Clay,
yeah.
my son, he did what you couldn't do because my son is a go getter. My boy, he went out there and he had a new survey done because your dusty old surveys apparently were not up to date. So you did not take the initiative you should have took that my son took. So I got all this because of what you didn't do. And he makes sure to say this in front of Grizzly Sage. He's like,
Yeah.
you see your boy? You see what your boy doing? He's not doing nothing. And Grizzly Sage is like, you're right, Clay, you're fired. Like I was like, wow, he's embarrassed this man in front of George. Like, yeah, he's right, Clay. You suck. Get out of here. Like, you're done. I love how George just like he had to embarrass Wesley Sage, embarrass Clay. He's like, both y'all get the hell out of my office.
Yeah.
I checkmate. We're done.
And it doesn't take Mr. Sage any time to get up and say, I can't believe you missed this. You buffoon. You're fired.
Done.
Out of here. And then Clay sits down and George does this like dramatic lighting of the cigar. He's like definitely in this victory mode, right? Like he's like, what are you going to do now, Clay? What's up with that? And Clay's like, don't worry. I'm like a cockroach. I have a million lives. And I'm like, okay, where is he going to show up next? You know, like I'm like, okay, like next season he'll show up. Like that's how that's you know. George decides to send Larry to Chicago, which we haven't seen, but that's where he's headed apparently. And while they're having this conversation, Bertha stops by to say like, "Hey, great news! We're going to be hosting the ball. This is so fantastic." And they're like, "Huh? Okay, cool. Like you get what you want. Great." Like just continuing the conversation, not including her. She's like, "Oh yeah," and they caught the leak lady. Like they caught her too. And they're like, yeah, okay, cool. Look at these numbers, Larry. Like, come on over. Like, look at this. And she is so on the out.
The pettiness is palpable
Oh,
off of these two because yeah, brother's like, yeah, we figured out who the leak was. And George's like, yeah, I figured that. It's like, oh, you knew it was that lady, huh? Okay, oh great. Because of course George didn't know. George is like, yeah, I knew that all along. It's like, shut up, George, you didn't know
exactly.
that. Stop it.
Exactly. And so she leaves. I was just like, again, she has also worked just as hard as him. Like this is where my frustration comes into play between the two of them is like he doesn't see that. She does see that for him, I think.
Yeah. I mean, she's worked hard on her side of the field.
It's right? Just different work. Like it is still work.
For sure.
Okay. I have a question for you. Oh. Where do you think the last scene was? It was so dark. I could not tell. Do you think they were at the club? They had to have been at the club, right?
I think they're at home. I think they're in his house. I think they're at Manor Russell. I think they're at the
Whew.
house.
Okay, then I have a lot of questions.
Based on
Yeah, because of
the
taxi
preview.
to the club, right? Oh yeah, in the preview.
Yeah, based on the preview, I think they are at home. I think they're in his
Yeah.
office at the end of the day. And that's what I think they are.
Oh my god, so many questions. This is even bigger than I thought because okay. So at the end of the day, he's talking to Brinkley. He's like, "Hey, good job." Brinkley's like, "Yeah, you too, bro." And then Jones comes in. First of all, it's Jones. It's not Church, it's Jones. And he comes in and he says, "Hey, there's a cab waiting to take you to the club." George's like, "Cool, fine." And then someone walks in. Just like if this is their house, this is where I was like, "Oh my god, someone else is gonna get fired because who let this guy in?" Like, or did someone else die? Like, I don't know. How did he get to this door to say, "I have a delivery for Mr. Russell"? And it is a delivery of ammunition. Of death. I mean, one guy totally down. Totally.
Yeah,
I don't.
He did. He gone.
Yeah. And then we're left with the last shot is the gun going off in George's direction, and we know from the preview, it's not great.
Before the episode went off, I was like, no.
Right?
No.
Right.
No. I was like, Brinkley's gonna like jump in front of the bullet, or like something's different's gonna happen. Brinkley's gonna be dead, George's gonna be fine. But then we get the next time on, George is super bloody. I'm like, oh my, like what? No, they can't do this. They're not going to do this. I'm putting it out there right now. They are not killing Railroad
They can't.
Daddy. They're not going to do it. They already got rid of John Adams. You can't do this to Railroad Daddy. Not happening. I'm putting it out there now. It's not happening.
I want to join you, and I want the rest of my Julian Fellows knowledge to escape from my body in joining you.
Yeah, I get it, but
I really hope he doesn't. Like
back to back, like they're gonna just murder people episode after episode.
I can't say anything. I mean, I hope it's not true because I think like he adds so much. Although Larry is in a position to like he's not in the position to take over. He has like a lot of power, but he's not in a position. So taking George out of the entire picture changes so much, which it could be interesting, but also I kind of don't want him to die. Like, you know?
Well, first of all, as we also saw in the preview, the ball is gonna happen. So I'm like, would Bertha really still put the ball on if George is dead and not just convalescing at home? You think Bertha is heartless enough to be like,
okay,
my husband just died, but I'm still gonna throw this ball anyway?
He can't have died. I don't think he has, because she would throw the ball to run interference on the story, right? Like George is sick, or he's like, because it would look bad. I would assume that she's not like by his side if he's like gravely ill or gravely injured.
Yeah.
So it would have to be like, oh, you didn't hear. It was like I don't know, a horse clop. It wasn't a bang bang. It was a clop clop.
No, the story's gonna get out there. I mean, I don't think something like this can happen and no one knows. I think it's got to be a fact of like George is okay. He's been shot. He's not gonna be at the ball. He's gonna be convalescing, but we're still gonna have the ball. It's gotta be right. They can't kill Railroad Daddy. They can't do it. And him and Bertha are fighting. They can't kill George while they're fighting.
I know. That was like also part of the stuff with Bertha brought it up to George about the book of like, this says that we're unhappy. And he's like, yeah, whatever. So they have to have the reconciliation moment. Like they have to. They have to have it.
I hope it's not on his deathbed to be like, I love you. And he dies. Like Gladys isn't here. Like this can't happen.
We can't. It can't happen. We're not gonna let it happen.
We're gonna sign petitions. We're gonna make it not happen. If it happened already, we're gonna reshoot it so that George is alive. We're gonna do fan edits where George is not dying.
Yeah, it was definitely not the ending I expected. I think like the only conclusion we can draw is Clay is somehow involved.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, I think it's gotta be. Clay has hired an assassin to take out George. It's gotta be the only right thing.
Thinking about this, it would be perfect foreshadowing, because earlier in the season, George is like, I should have killed him. Like, I should have just
Yeah.
killed him.
Yeah, true. See, I think George is going to be injured. He's going to actually he will have been shot. I think this will make him reevaluate his priorities,
I hope
his
so.
life, realize that Bertha is love of his life, and blah blah blah. I think maybe Larry will run stuff in his stead. Like he'll come to his dad, be like, "Hey, Dad, what should we do here?" And he's like, "Here's what you're gonna do, son." As he's like in his bed, convalescing from his gunshot wound. I don't know. George can't die. He can't be dead.
He can't die.
That's a big part of the show. I mean, John Adams. Goodbye,
Yeah.
John Adams. We will miss you, but George is George.
Yeah.
Railroad Daddy can't be gone.
Yeah, agreed. Just to update everyone on Gladys. Gladys is really, again, like you said, I don't know what Bertha said to this lady, because Gladys is working all of the things, and she's like getting Hector to put flowers in her room, getting him to question his sister Sarah. Like when they get invited to the ball, it's like, don't you want to spend some time in London?
Yeah,
and she's like, in the London house? He's like, no, in your own place.
He's basically kicking her out of the castle. He's like, yeah, I just think it's probably a good time for you to just get lost somewhere else, in some other place that's not here, not with us, maybe. I don't know. What do you think? Yeah, I love it. Like, whatever Gladys be doing is working, because he is ready to hoist his sister overboard. So much so he's like, I don't care if your daddy pays me or not. I still,
right?
I F's with you, Gladys. I'm down for you.
And also, like, why don't you let Gladys help you make dinner choices, Sarah? Mm-hmm. And she's like, oh, okay. And at the end, she does ask Gladys, I guess this is what you want to. And she's like, she again uses the very Bertha like response. I just want you to have fun. Like, you should go live your life. You don't want to be taking care of this house that I'm technically supposed to be taking care of. Just go. And we do get a handhold between the two of them as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is turning into a downright kind of love story. Like, okay, as awful as it was for most of the season, I like that it's turning into a happier ending for Gladys. I'm not really sure how Gladys is really feeling about Hector yet. I think she's coming around to Hector, but Hector is obviously smitten with her now. So I like that we got that kind of ending, which I assume is going to go well. I assume we'll see Gladys next week at her mother's house.
Well, they got on the boat like right away, so they got to be there.
Yes, they got to be there. So I like how this is shaping up for Gladys.
Yeah, agreed. Let's also talk about how Mr. Church wasn't born a butler.
Oh boy.
So Mr. Church really did put like this entire scheme into action. So he pulls everyone into his office and tells, including Anders, we've got Borden, what's her name, Mrs. Bruce, and Anders in the office, and he's like, okay, so the Russells are
who's Anders?
Anders, isn't that the lady's name?
Mrs. French, right? Miss French.
She is French, but I don't think that's her name.
How do they call her Miss French?
Well, I thought sure her name was on Andres. Anyway, okay, so Miss French, we know who we're talking about, the French lady. Mm-hmm. To say the Russells are gonna buy the Duchess a house, and we need to staff it, even though she won't be there anymore. So, like all the time. So, if you know of any candidates, you just let me know. This is I appreciate your discretion. We're not going to say anything. We're going to keep it on the DL. That's how it's going to go. French lady leaves, and then Borden and Bruce are like, "What do we do now?" Mr. Church is like, "Watch her like a hawk. Like, watch her." This is what we do. And they end up finding out that she like left the house for a quote unquote doctor's appointment, but Church followed her into the park and saw that there was money exchanged at some point.
The way they made this happen, like, so basically they're watching her all the time. She's running around the house, and they're like, wait a minute, where'd she go? Like, we lost her. Everyone's panicking, freaking out. Borden and Bruce, who, I guess they're still an item. I don't know. Our 2 minutes of Borden and Bruce has been taken over by this whole Miss French plot.
Yeah.
Because they like, where'd she go? And then Church pops up. Like you said, he's like, yeah, I saw her in the park exchanging an envelope or something. Here's what I thought.
Tell me.
Here was my thing. I was like, is Church the leak? Is Church trying to frame Miss French? because we didn't see Miss French in the park. I thought, like, could he be making this up and framing her to get the sus off of him? That was my thought for a good 10 minutes before they came back. I was like, nah, it was Miss French. Like, it was actually her. Like, we weren't gonna try to lead you down some weird path. No, it was her. We thought it was her the whole season, and it is her. So we're not trying to do anything sneaky. It's Miss French.
Like, yeah, it was totally her. They corner her after this, and she's like, "Yeah, I got paid $40 a story if it made it to the paper." And we still don't know, like, why. The only reason that she did it was because money is money. Like, that's it. And she's like, "I'm gonna go pack." And she's like, "No, we already packed you."
This was such a swift ending to this. I was like, "Oh, like they just confronted her. She admitted it, and now she's gone." I was like, "Oh, that's the end of that."
Are we watching The Good Wife? It just ended. It just kind of like wrapped up.
Who do you think? Who do you think is a leak in the Van Rhijn house?
Is there? I don't know if they're like. I don't think they're showing up in the newspaper, but I
they were in the book.
The book. I know for the book. I think that seeing everyone kind of knew about the money thing. Like I think that's kind of and I think Ward McAllister would know about Oscar's tendencies and leanings and sexuality and all of that.
Listen, I kind of think Ward McAllister.
Yeah, exactly.
So he might have seen Oscar some places. I don't know. But like, I think you got a point there. I think the things in the book off the Van Rhijns were kind of out in the open, so it's nothing that's crazy secretive. So yeah, I mean, we're not going to point. I mean, but if it was someone, it's definitely Miss Armstrong, right?
Oh, for sure. For sure. So yeah, I think the next person that gets hired has to have a B name for us to know that they're safe, because we have Borden, Bruce, and then whoever this new person is. We have a church, and I know we had an A, but I'm predicting we get a B named person in as the new maid.
Can't wait to meet Bob.
That would be great. When Bertha is talking to Mrs. Bruce about this, Mrs. Bruce is very like apologetic, like, we're so sorry that this happened. And Bertha, this is like when she's left alone at night in her room, she says, "I don't blame the staff. It just proves that when we think we know someone, we usually don't."
Bertha is so beat down, she can't even like take her staff to task. She's like, "Oh, whatever, it happens." Just goes to show you don't know who you think you know. It's like, oh, okay.
But like, weird. Do you think she's talking about George? Do you think?
I mean, possibly. I think she's in her feels about George.
Yeah.
About everything. So I think that's definitely getting her down. I think she doesn't know? She thinks she doesn't know George. Maybe because she didn't foresee him acting like this. I think is where she's coming from. Yes, I could definitely see that.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, coming off of the death of John Adams, Oscar is super sad. Like super duper sad.
Super duper sad, yeah.
And he's leaving the house, and of course Agnes is like, "Where are you going? Here's John's obituary." And he does this like life must go on type of thing.
Yeah, he puts up a front. He's like, he was my friend, but hey, these things happen. People get run over by horses every day, and just so happy you're one of my friends this day.
Yeah, and Agnes is like to Ada, because Ada's like trying to comfort him, and she's like, "Leave him alone. Men don't deal with these things the way that we do." And this, okay, so maybe like my anger should not be pointed at men. I will take this back. It is at the patriarchy, because here it is showing up here as well. Is like men do deal with things. They do. They can't show it, and especially in this case with Oscar, he can't show it on like so many levels.
Yeah.
So he's off to go visit John's sister. #ally. Because she has kept John's secret his entire life, basically brings Oscar there saying, "I know about you two. Your secret's safe with me. John had your picture in his nightstand. Here is a picture of him for you if you want one. Oh, and also he left you a house."
I was like, what? A house? And the money to take care of her for 5 years? I was like, damn. John loved your ass, Oscar. He loved your ass. He left you a whole ass house.
And the money, which he knew would be important, because Oscar, who knows with the money.
Right.
And he says he thought of everything. And she says he thought of you. So touching. And there's a letter, which we don't get to see the insides of it. But at first, Oscar doesn't want to accept this. But, in the end, this is what John wanted. So he's going to serve John's memory in this way. But when he gets back to the house, this scene
is rough.
First of all, did you know that Oscar is married to Lady Sarah in real life?
Say what?
Yeah, Oscar and Lady Sarah, I think, are married in real life.
Oh my God. That's quite interesting.
This is I think like the best acting we've seen from this character this entire series, because he comes in and he says, John made me a homeowner, like he was such a good friend, that's what he did. And everyone's like, isn't that odd, isn't that weird, isn't that a little weird?
Well, I mean, he comes in and everyone's like, oh, Oscar, how you doing? And this man, he literally growls.
Yeah.
Like, why is someone asking me how I'm doing? I was like, oh, okay. Like, that's the first freak out.
Yeah.
And then he tells him, he calms down a little bit. He's like, yeah, my boy gave me a house. Like,
a what?
He gave you a house?
Like, made out of sticks?
Like a whole ass house? Not like a drawing of a house? Like an actual structure that stands up by itself.
And importantly, in Livingston Manor, which Agnes notes to us that is part of her family's lineage. Like they founded that area. But this is apparently a place that they had gone together, Oscar and John. So it's like very meaningful. And he's like, I can't be, he just like kind of lets it out as best as he can in this moment. I can't be too sad. I can't be too cheerful. I went to his funeral. I sat in the back row where I should have taken my rightful, and he couldn't finish it. And at this moment, Christine Baranski is doing the best face acting
like
in the world.
Because she's like, like
she's putting it together. She's putting it together.
And I feel like because everyone is face acting in this scene, because Oscar is flipping out. He's like, he gave me more dead than he did alive. Like you said, I should have been taking my rightful place. And he tells Agnes like, God forbid I tell you that I'm missing him. It's like, oh, like that's the first. Agnes like, wait,
yeah.
And then he flips out and Agnes like, oh, what? And you see Ada and Marian that are like, uh-oh. I think she figured it out, because I feel like Ada and Marian already had
for sure
this knowledge locked in. I feel like Agnes and Miss Armstrong are the only two people in that house that don't know what's going on with Oscar, because like Agnes like, wait, what? You you are what? Because it's all clocking to her as Oscar's really getting emotional about his friend John. Agnes.
And Marian steps in like hard block, like a hard, it's just like, obviously he's just mourning the loss of his savior who came in and gave him all this money and is all this stuff, and I would be heartbroken too. And Ada's like, yeah, me too. Like this is, and I thought it was like, again, #ally, like that's a good way to show up for someone in that moment. And again, like her face, like just I have no words to explain how Christine Baranski did this, but you can, like, at the end there's like a feeling of like, I think she feels sad that she didn't know this, but also she knows the realities of the situation and how this, like, she's sad for herself as well.
Well, it's a lot of complex emotions, right?
Yeah.
Because she's realizing what her son is and how her son couldn't confide in her maybe, and how tough it's going to be for him in this society that he's now, going, in her mind, he's going to be this way now. And I think she probably also has her own prejudices that she needs to reconcile. And it's a great portrait of a mother coming to a realization about the son she thought she knew, right? So it's like, and she really portrayed it well in her, like you said, face acting, and the way that Christine Baranski didn't say a word, but conveyed so much in these looks.
I mean, give her the Emmy, like, for real. I mean, I know it's tough competition out there, but oh boy, that was something.
And especially for Agnes, who is always ready to throw out a jab or a barb, to in this moment realize, like, I think probably she's also too kind of stunned and shocked to say anything, but also maybe part of her is like, probably not the best time to throw out a jab or a barb right now.
Yeah. And then we get another heartbreaking scene when Marian goes to comfort Oscar, and he's immediately like apologizing if he caused a scene. There's immediate shame in him already. And Marian tells him, like, I think I understand you better than you think I do. I think I understand what's happening. And Oscar says, you can't, because if you did, you'd have to turn away from me because society would make you do this. And she, okay, I know I'm quoting a lot of lines here, but it was just so beautiful. She says, I'm no expert, but I have no wish to turn away from you. I just want to help you. Please tell me how, which is a hard question. Like, I always, when I'm in, like, I don't know how to be helped, how I want to be helped, but she does ask the question, how do you let me go help? And he says, you've helped me more than I know. And then we get this like hug. Like, he just collapses into her and she says, oh, Oscar. It was so beautiful. Also heartbreaking and also very sad. But quite a moment. I really hope that people felt seen. And I mean, it's horrible that people go through this, but I hope it brought some conversations to the table for people.
Yeah, for sure.
Meanwhile, there's a suffrage meeting happening. Marian had volunteered the school. The person who first came up saying that they would take this meeting on and kind of sponsor it backs out. And Ada's just like, why don't we do it here? Everyone's coming over here. This is great. And Marian says, well, shouldn't we ask the Agnes? Ada is in her, like, she is in her true self at this moment. And because she's like, I don't need to ask my sister. I'm in charge of the house. Like, it's my house, not hers.
Stepped into her power.
Yeah. And she's like, I gotta go walk Pumpkin again. Pumpkin. Around.
I was so nervous. Like, this show has got my nerves up so much. Where Ada was like, I'm gonna go walk Pumpkin. I was like, why are we announcing that Ada's gonna go walk Pumpkin? What's about to happen to Ada? I was like, Ada, watch out for horses. Like, I was so scared. It's like, well, why is this a whole big exit? She's I'm going to go do something. I'm like, what's gonna happen when she goes off to do it? What's happening?
Well, especially because we did get that like shot of Mr. Borden like looking across the street and like doing all this stuff. So it's like, I know it's not the right house, but it's the same street. And that was just for checking on the French lady. That wasn't like anything super dramatic. But yeah, I was also thinking that too. It's like, oh, don't go. But they have the meeting. It's well attended. It's integrated. Did you see how well it was integrated? And it's very well received. And Ada is like, there's real power when we all come together. It's like, yeah, that's kind of the point. So she's learning how about intersectionality in real time.
I was like, I love that for you, Ada.
Yeah, I was like, way to go. Meanwhile, this Mrs. Foster lady, who Agnes has been avoiding like nobody's business from the New York Heritage Society, comes over and tries to talk to Agnes. She's like, I don't want to give you this money. Like, in her mind, before she even says anything, Agnes is like, I got to get my way out of this. But she's coming over to basically say, like, we're naming Livingston Manor after your family, and you have such a rich heritage. We'd love your help in celebrating an event. And Agnes is saying no, which I think is really odd for someone who wants to be in society, who wants to be included, to like say no.
What is going to come of this? Because this is very weird to me. I was like, is this going to somehow get Agnes her fortune back? Like, she's giving the stiff arm to Mrs. Foster this whole time, and is it going to end up being such a windfall for her? Is that why they're making such a big deal out of it right now? And Mrs. Foster's giving her looks like, you should really listen to what I have to say. And it's like, is that what you think is going to happen here?
That's the vibe I'm getting. Like, I think, well, and also, like, that's also where John's house is. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't know if they did that to just talk about Livingston Manor or like introduce the fact that her family's there. But we've heard so much about like her father's heritage. We've talked about like the Van Rhijn lineage a lot, or she has at least. But she says this is on her mother's side. So there, and like stuff like that doesn't necessarily transfer down through women. Like, it's always passed down through men, specifically like land for sure. So I don't know if they're like, hey, we bought this. Do you want it? Like, I don't know.
I was wondering what's to come of this, because it felt like we still have some more to discover about what's going on with Mrs. Foster and what she has to offer here.
Yeah. Yeah. In the news of Larian,
Ugh.
oh my god.
We thought Marian
Larian,
was insufferable last time. My God.
oh god. She will not listen to anyone. She's like, this this is it. I made my decision. This is Peggy's like, what about just talking to him?
She's like, no, I will never talk to him ever again. Like, you don't want to talk to him about anything ever again? Like, you just tripping. You're real hard tripping here.
And even at the suffrage event, like Peggy's talking to her friends who are so excited for her, but she's like, "We can't trust men." Basically, like she's like,
She's the
"We need to go." Yeah,
the Marissa of the Gilded Age.
yeah, exactly. Um, so yeah, so Larry gets back from the trip and gets this letter. The church is like, "Hey, Marian wrote you this letter," and I remember very distinctly. Jason, help me if or correct me if I'm wrong, but Marian did drop off this letter and said it explains everything very clearly, or it says everything
Yeah,
in here.
I'm sure Marian thinks that it explains everything
Yeah,
clearly, but maybe what Marian thinks is clear is not very clear. You know,
no,
women, right, Marissa?
yeah, I know.
They
We
like
do
to
that
think they're
sometimes.
yeah,
Yeah,
they like to think
exactly.
they're clear. They're not
Yes,
exactly clear. Like, wait, what?
yes, exactly.
I
Um,
just agree with that, Marissa.
well,
I was like, women.
not all women.
Just trying to do your men thing to me. You know, women, Marissa.
I know what you're trying to do. I just feel real bad because sometimes I'm really mad, like at the patriarchy. Anywho, so Larry takes this and runs right across the street. It's like, listen, I just got to talk to this lady. Everything will be fine. Ada is at the door saying, no, it's not going to be that easy. She doesn't want anything really to do with you. She wants to give the ring back. And he's just like, this doesn't make sense. Like, this is so confusing. I'm not going to accept anything until I talk to her. I like,
Ada,
that's it.
Ada, because I'm sure Marian gave her like squash it. Ada's like so hesitant. She's like, yeah, she doesn't want to see you, and she wants me to give you her ring. And Larry's like, nah, that's hers. Let her keep it, because this ain't over. Like, I'm not just accepting this. Like, I will have my day in court to figure out what the hell's going on. Because I guess Marian in her wonderful letter did not explain, like, I saw you going into that strip
Right?
club or whatever. I heard you was out there creeping. She's like, what did the letter say? It's over. Bye. And that's it. Like,
No,
Marian, come on.
Marian. So then Ada again. Now she's in her power. She's here. She's having all the conversations, doing all the things. She has a conversation with Marian, and Marian's like, "This is never going to happen, like at all." And she says, "Don't make a decision out of ignorance or fear." And she's like, "Well, he opens up a Pandora's box of ignorance and fear." Like she's really like going off the rails here.
Marian is self-sabotaging real
So hard.
because like she is taking something that she doesn't even really know what happened and blowing it up to gigantic proportions, because I think at the end of the day she's a little scared. She's
Oh, for
scared
sure. Yeah.
of what marrying Larry could be. She's afraid of change possibly, and she is just real, like she's at the first drop of any sign of trouble, she's out of here. There's a cutout of Marian in a wall. She's ran away so hard that she's just like, she is taken off at the first sign of trouble.
Well, and she also has this like self-fulfilling prophecy that any man that she's with is bad, is going to do something to her. And Ada's really, really trying to like talk her out of this. Like, why don't you just write to him clearly so that he understands? If you're not going to talk to him, do this. And then Marian says, I might as well be a spinster. And I got to hand it to Ada because as a spinster myself, when she says, like, she's like, no, you don't wish that on anyone. There's a very profound loneliness that comes with that life. And I can only imagine how much lonelier it was for women back then, like when it was a real social outcast thing. It came with a lot of different things, but it's like Marian forgot that Ada lived this life before she met Luke, and Ada has to remind her, like, my life is better because I loved, even for a short amount of time, than if I never loved anyone at all and lived out the rest of my days alone. Marian's like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Like kind of grounds her a little bit.
Yeah, Ada is her ghost of Christmas future, right? It's like
Yeah.
I've lived your life. You don't want to be me when you're this age. So if you can find love, go ahead and grab it as hard as you can. And it wouldn't be one thing because Marian does have an argument here, right? As when she
Oh,
finally
for
talks
sure.
to Larry, she has an argument, but she just
Yeah.
went so hard with it. She just went so hard.
Well, it's like when you read a news headline and don't read the whole story,
Uh-huh.
or you read something and you don't fact check it. You read a tweet and it's like, oh, that's real. It's not. Like, go fact check it. Like, go see if it's like cited anywhere else. Like, she did not think critically about the
Mhm.
situation. She just went full emotions all the time,
Yeah.
and she like didn't even want to give a possibility that there might be a different answer based on her past history. So yeah, so Larian. So Larry goes to visit Marian at work because
Yo, when you got dude pulling up at your job, like you're in for it. Like, girl, you want to answer the phone? You want to answer a cable? You want to answer your door? Like, I'm here. What?
yeah,
He will not give up. I love that about Larry. He's like, nah,
I,
I'm gonna pull up at her work. Like that is a today move. When they block you on everything, and they block you on socials, and they block you on everything, and they block you on the phone, you pull up at their work.
yeah,
Larry's taking a page from today's society. I will just pull up at the job and see what she got to say.
it's a very new money move, right? Like it's
Yeah.
definitely the new world. And he's like, I just want to know what I did. Like, just tell me. And she's like, on the night we were engaged, you went to a house of ill repute. You went to a like just
Disorderly house.
disorderly house.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, okay, sure. But like nothing happened. Like nothing happened. She's like, and another thing. You told me you were going to Delmonico's. And he's like, oh, I did do that. That I did do. And
Yeah.
I see that could be a problem now.
I mean, and Larry's like, he's almost like Ward McAllister. He's like, so what's the big deal? I lied to you. And it's like, Mary's like, and that's not good. You're not supposed to lie to your significant other. It's like, yeah, I guess you're right. I did do that. My bad though. Like, I didn't know you would be having such a problem with me lying to you. So now that I know you don't like me lying to you, I won't lie to you
Noted.
anymore. I guess.
Noted.
Noted. I was like, okay, Larry. I was like, I feel like that should be a given, but okay. Because Larry does take his medicine. He's like, yeah, I lied. That's true.
Well, and he's like, I see that now. And she goes, or are you only saying this because your lie was found out?
Yeah,
Like,
because if it wasn't, it's not like he would have copped to it and be like, I have this horrible secret I've been harboring. I did not go to Delmonico's that night. No, he just would have been like, what you don't know won't hurt you.
yeah, pretty much. Ben
Because
Classic.
in Larry's offense, it's not as if he went there to do anything. He went there to watch his buddies do some
Right,
stuff,
right.
which still doesn't sound great, but
But he did not do anything. He actually ended up helping Marian's family by telling Oscar about Maud Beaton. Class bell rings. Marian's like, I'll return the ring.
It's like, get lost. I'll give you your ring back at some point.
Eek. So Marian accompanies JJ to go get his house. He's getting a house. He's moving on up.
Love this.
It's a fancy house. It's a big house. It comes with furniture. Basically, he ends up getting the house. That's the JJ movement on it all. But during this whole time, while Marian is there, he's like, well, what's going on with you and Mr. Larry? And Marian's like, canned response to this always is like, there's nothing to discuss here. Like, there's nothing. But JJ says, listen, I didn't tell you where we're going because it's not a good, like, it's not a great place. Just like, I know where you went. And it's like, okay, but like nothing untoward happened. And she's like, how would you know? She's like, because he was with me the whole time.
Yeah. He's like, we had a drink. He went off. I mean, he wasn't with him the whole time. Larry did go off with Maud Beaton. So, I mean,
yeah, sure. But like,
yeah, but I mean, it's like he was with me. He didn't do anything crazy. We had a drink. He went to go talk to some weird lady, and then we left.
yeah. And they like came home together. Like, so I don't know. What do you think is going to happen here?
Well, I think Marian. I think her, face acting. I think she does kind of say, okay, maybe I've been a little hard on.
But okay,
Larry.
But like, is she gonna run over and say, okay, is he gonna take her back because now he's off to Chicago? Like,
Well, Larry's like, I'm a little busy. My father just got shot. Okay.
yeah, exactly.
I got more pressing matters to deal with right now. Okay. But I, as we said last episode, of course, Larian had to have some sort of speed bump before we got to any full blown marriage.
Yeah.
So I think this will be blown over by the time the season ends.
And then last but certainly not least, let us talk about Dr. Kirkland and Peggy and how they're in love with each other, but we don't know if they're going to get together because of it all.
Freaking Ernestine, man. Freaking Ernestine.
But first of all, can we talk about this picnic where they're sitting there and he's like, how do you do it all? Like, I'm just so amazed by you. I'm surprised I could even get on your schedule. She's like, you'll always have a place in my schedule.
Oh my.
Like,
if Smitten had a vision of a character, Dr. Franklin would be it. He is the definition of a Smitten right now.
For sure. And he actually says to Peggy, like, hey, we got this ball, coming up. Do you want to go with me instead of going with your family? She says, I like that. Like, I hope we can make it happen. I hope your mom just kill me pretty much when we go. But speaking of his mom, Mrs. Kirkland talks to Ernestine, aka Leslie Uggams,
who I hope this isn't the last we saw of Ernestine. If I don't know why you get Leslie Uggams just for one scene. She did great in this scene, especially at the end of the scene where she's super happy with herself for sicking Mrs. Kirkland on Peggy. Like, I hope we do see more of Ernestine in the future. I don't know.
I really hope we get more of their backstory because she's all like, I can't believe you didn't know. Like, so what is that between them? But yes, that little smirk after the conversation was so good. Yeah. But she tells Mrs. Kirkland about Philadelphia and the baby, and that the baby was up for adoption, and she had a baby out of wedlock. Peggy had a baby out of wedlock. But she's all like, so my sister goes to church and like she's like really diving into that, and that is all Mrs. Kirkland needs to hear. She's like, I knew she wasn't right for my William. Like, she kept this from us. I gotta go to New York. I gotta tell my son. Like, right away.
Yeah, literally. She literally gets up. It's like, I'm about to go now. She doesn't pack. She doesn't do nothing. She's like, just hops in a carriage and rolls on down to New York.
Yeah, and goes to his work. Like, pulls up at his work. And she's like, well, I got some news about Peggy. I don't know why she calls herself Miss. And basically tells the whole story to him. It says that she also does embellish it a little bit. She's like, everyone in Philly knows. I can't believe she didn't tell you. She lied to you. And on top of that, she put her own flesh and blood up for adoption. Like,
yeah, she goes, she's a tarnished woman with a dead child that she put up for adoption. Like, ew, like, ooh, that was some cold work. Like, the way she's just spinning this. And of course, it's just a big game of telephone that she's heard this like crazy stuff from Ernestine, who she's now relaying this, false information that she doesn't even know is true or false to William, poisoning William against Peggy. So now William, for his part though, is like, well, I'm not just going to take your word for it. I'm going to go talk to Peggy about all this and see what's up.
He even says, I didn't ask you. Like, I didn't ask you for your thing. I'm going to go to talk to Peggy. And I just love how Felicia Rashad says this, William, you don't owe her anything.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So he picks up and heads on over to the Van Rhijn Forte house to call on Peggy. So at this moment, at the end of this episode, we've got Mr. Kirkland at the Forte's house.
They kind of leave us hanging with that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, right. But then we've got George shot across the street. So do we think that Mr. Franklin is going to come in, or Mr. Kirkland is going to come in, Dr. Kirkland is going to come in and help in the situation? Do you think, will they allow a black man to help a white man in the situation?
Interesting.
How will this play out?
I don't think the Russells are, I think the Russells are probably cool with the black folks. We don't really know.
We don't really see them with black people, though.
We don't see them with black folks, but I feel like if Mrs. Russell's down for the divorced women, she might be down for the blacks too. I don't know. Who knows? And in a case of crisis, if you're the only option I got, come on over.
Well,
And
and how does he find out? Like, there's no 911. You know what I
I
mean? Like,
I didn't even clock that though. I didn't even clock that it was like the same moment. So does he hear the gunshot and is like, the hell? And everybody freaks out. He runs over across the street because it's right across the street. I mean, I'm sure if people are we see everyone kind of like the shots we get from next week. People are like panicking
yeah,
because I feel like everyone's kind of like I think I remember seeing Marian run down the steps. I remember seeing Bertha run down her steps. So I think that it might be such a moment that Dr. Kirkland hears the gunshot. He's like, let me go help. I'm a doctor. That's what I got to do. And I think the Russells will let him in and help. I guess.
yeah. I think he will come in handy. He will be of service, in that moment, and it will kind of delay the conversation with him and Peggy, but they will have that conversation because
Yeah,
Peggy's not gonna like. Well, we saw it in the preview, but she's not gonna deny
yeah.
or say it. She's gonna say the truth.
Seems like everything comes to a head at this ball. Next episode, questions will be answered, storylines will be wrapped up. I'm pretty, I guessed last week, maybe we get a Larry and Marian elopement at the end of the ball. Like,
Ooh.
hey, back together. I'm gonna go lock you down right now before you can do some other crazy stuff. So let's go. So who knows what we'll get next week? But next week is the season finale.
Season finale.
So we will see what happens next week as this season comes to a close next week.
I just want to also shout out production because I know we talk a lot about Julian Fellows and how he writes stories and how he does things and pays attention to history. But what really makes the show special is that he has a counterpart in having Sonia
Sally Richardson Whitfield.
Yeah, Warfield. Yeah, exact. Well, Sonia Warfield is the co-showrunner.
And Sally Richardson Whitfield is like a director.
The director. Yeah, exactly. Having these two black women involved in these conversations has made, as someone who I love period pieces, I love history, I will watch pretty much any Jane Austen thing. I will, be there. It is very rare to see the black story told alongside the white story at the same time. And I think, I know I'm not black, but I'm just saying I'm finding it enjoyable. I'm finding it enjoyable as a non-black person learning and getting to just like see everything that's happening with that community at this time. I think it's like one of the smartest moves in television that they have ever made.
I mean, yeah, definitely gives an air of authenticity to the proceedings, and I don't know much of the behind the scenes of it, but I hope that Sally Richardson Whitfield is, I hope it's not just like Julia Fell's like, all right, I'll take the white side, you take the black side. I think there's probably a very collaborative, creative, working together effort. So I do love that we have so many different voices and viewpoints being fed into this Gilded Age machine. So I like you said, I love that part of it as well.
Yeah, and I would hope that there's like probably a gay man on staff too. You know what I mean? Like to tell like they're I think Julian Fellows is gay, but like they're just doing a really great job with authentic storytelling, no matter who's on staff. But in this case, taking into account who's on staff. But yes, season finale next week. I don't know, Jason. I can't believe we're here. I really wish we had more episodes.
Yeah. I mean, I think but I do think they've done well in the economy of storytelling. I feel like the season started off a little slow, but I think since like I want to say like episode 4 or so, that's when we really got things started pumping. So I think things have really gone at a great pace this season. I can't wait to see how it all comes to a head next week.
Yeah.
Marissa, do you want to tell the good folks out there where they can find you and what you are up to?
Usually I am right here is sitting in front of this microphone and computer talking to Jason about television, either talking about the Gilded Age here on the Gilded Pod or the Good Wife over on the Good Pod. Soon we will be talking about Elsbeth in the fall in October, so that'll be coming up over there. Otherwise, I am on Whirlwind Podcast talking about Pretty Little Liars, one previously on at a time. So that's, if you've watched Pretty Little Liars, I recommend it. If you have not, you're not really going to gain anything from listening to that podcast. And also I am exploring space with my sister on USS Sisterhood. We have started watching Star Trek The Next Generation for the first time and kind of making our way through season 1 there. Otherwise, you can find me at itsmemarissag.com, where I have links to everything else that I'm up to. Jason, what you got going on over on your side?
Yeah, you mentioned the Good Pod, where we're talking about the Good Wife, so that's that. And also, you can find me on my podcast, A Perfect Match, where Asia Welch and I talk about the show Married at First Sight. We do have a Patreon that we started. We're talking about old seasons right now of Married at First Sight. We are doing a rewatch of season 11. I am all about the rewatches nowadays. So come check us out there if that is something that floats your boat. If you love the reality TV mess, we have a lot of fun talking about it over there. Speaking of reality TV mess, we do talk more reality TV mess over on Rob has a podcast over on the Love at First Sight feed. We were talking about the show Perfect Match, not to be confused with the podcast Perfect Match, but we're talking about the Netflix reality show Perfect Match, where they bring all the Netflix reality love shows and some other shows from outside the Netflix universe, bring people together and make matches and see all the debaucherous things that happen when they bring all these people together. So if that also is a thing that floats your boat, check me out over on Rob Has Podcast over on the Love First Sight feed, and that is where you can find me, Asia Welch, and Kirsten McKinnis talking about Perfect Match. That is it for us this week. Till next time, stay rich.